What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and as of late I've gotten a lot of new subscribers to the channel. And what comes with that is a lot of people that are newer to handguns, or maybe even some people that, still have handguns, carry handguns on the daily, but don't carry with a round in the chamber. So today we're going to be talking about how to carry with a round in the chamber, ready to go, for if anything were to happen, you have the best chance at survival. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, tell me your thoughts on this video, tell me what you carry today, what kind of holster, what kind of defensive ammo, and we're going to get into it. But for every man that concealed carries and wants to carry appendix, it can be very, very nerve-wracking. Part of the reason we exist now has a handgun aimed at it, and if that thing were to go off, your life will probably be pretty miserable after that point. Now, handguns don't go off by themselves. The trigger has to be pulled, but in some cases, I guess the P320 has had some, questionable issues with it. But for the average handgun that you're buying, it's not going to go off by itself. That's just a fact. I've fallen off a ladder at 6 feet with an FN503 in my pocket, fully loaded. Nothing went off. I have dropped a handgun on concrete. Nothing went off. I've had a gun ran over. Nothing went off. They tend to be really, really safe. So if you're newer to handguns or still getting used to carrying with a round in the chamber, I just want to let you know I was there at some point. I was there for a while not carrying with the round in the chamber. I had a full mag, but no round in that chamber. And so I just had to learn and get comfortable with my handgun. And that's really what it comes down to, is your training, taking your time, holstering, and getting used to your handgun and learning it. But today we're going to talk about some methods that really helped me and methods that have helped other people, and some recommendations I've given people and actually got them to carry with a round in the chamber now, because they're no longer afraid, because they've realized from the stuff they've done that they don't go off by themselves. So let's get into it. One way that I do recommend, you may not like it, is to put a snap cap in the chamber, right? Have a full mag, but load a snap cap in your chamber. What a snap cap is, it's a dummy round, so it can't actually shoot. Your striker just hits a little piece of rubber, and that's it. It doesn't go off or anything. But the reason why I tell them to do that is because I tell them, walk around your house, be active, do all the activities you'd normally do. Go shoot basketballs, go play some hockey, whatever the case may be with your handgun. Come home, and you're going to realize that that trigger never went off. That is going to help you get a little bit more comfortable. And the reason why I tell people to do that is because there's zero risk involved, and you're still at your house, you're in your driveway, you're in a safer area. You still have rounds if anything were to ever pop off. Chances are it won't, but just in case, you still have rounds where you could clear that snap cap and good to go. But more importantly, it just shows you that the round didn't go off, the trigger never got depressed, and that as long as it's in a good quality holster, it'll be just fine. Now, the second method is how I really learned to carry with the round in the chamber. It is because I picked up this handgun right here, the Springfield Armory XD9 Subcompact. And the reason why I got it is it fit my hand pretty well, had good, capacity, but was such a smooth shooter. I rented one at a range, and man, did it handle recoil so well. So when I was newer to handguns, I absolutely love this thing. It's an awesome handgun. I still love it. 100% reliable through thousands and thousands and actually 12,000 rounds, a little over 12,000 rounds. But the reason why I got it is this right here. Not only do you have this trigger safety for a drop safety, but you have this right here. So let's say you're holstering, right? And you're holding your gun like this. That trigger can get pulled on and nothing's going to go off. This handgun is unloaded. So let's say that trigger were to be pulled when you're holstering. Nothing's going to go off. This safety has to be depressed for that safety to be, or for that trigger to go off. And so basically that's an awesome way. It's just a backup safety feature. So your hand has to depress this about 50 to 60% of the way, and that will allow it to go off. So that's another awesome way. So think about your firearm holstered. This will not be getting depressed. Nothing could go wrong. Nothing could go bang. So it gave me an extra peace of mind that nothing is ever going to go wrong with my handgun. Another great option for that is the XDM, or even the XDS is their single stack version. They all have these awesome grip safeties. And now people say it's just another point of failure. I've ran thousands and thousands of rounds between my XDM, my XD, my XDS, and all these grip safeties, never a single issue. But I have heard of people getting them locked in. There's some sort of pin or something you can do to have them locked in. So once you're comfortable with your handgun, you can get these things locked in for good, so that when you're shooting, you don't even have to depress it anymore. But if you're just getting a good grip on the handgun, it's going to depress. So you don't have to ever worry about it causing issues or anything like that. From my experience, it's a great way to go. Two awesome shootable handguns. Another way to go is to get a manual safety. For a lot of people, that don't fully understand handguns, all the drop safeties, internal safeties, and so on, they like the manual safety. It's an extra peace of mind. But the biggest thing I will say, if you get a manual safety, you have to train with that manual safety. The reason why I don't like manual safeties, I do have them on a lot of handguns, but that's because they're cheaper with the manual safety because no one's buying them. So I like stiffer manual safeties if I'm getting the handgun for cheaper. Therefore, because it's not going to accidentally get pushed up or anything like that. But the reason I don't like it is when you go to draw, your hand tends to be here. You never get like a full grip when you're drawing. So I grip and then I transition. I don't want to have to go boom and make sure, because what if I miss when I'm drawing, whatever the case may be. I don't like relying on manual safeties, but I do know that they make a lot of people feel good. And people who don't understand handguns, they say, oh, a Glock doesn't have a safety. It does have safeties, it just doesn't show in this form. But this is another awesome way to go. There's a lot of different options out there. The P365, you can get it with the safety. Once again, I got it with the safety because it was cheaper. So that's another way you can go. There's a lot of handguns out there you can still get manual safeties on, and that's just going to basically, as you can see, handgun is cleared, but it's basically just going to lock up that trigger when the safety's on, safety off, you're good to go. So that's just a great way to go as well if that interests you. I do prefer, though, the grip safety method because you're getting awesome, reliable handguns that are smooth shooting, reliable as can be, plus you get that little extra safety feature on it. Last but not least is get a double action, single action handgun or a handgun with a heavy, heavy trigger. This is my HK P2000 subcompact. It is safety check and cleared as well. And whereas you see that first trigger pull, right, when it's single action, is so light, crisp, clean, easy to pull, right? But as a safety feature, you have a decocker, right? You press that button, you now have this really long, heavy, drawn-out trigger pull. See, we're still going, but it's very predictable when you're actually live firing. I'm just trying to show you guys how long it is so you guys get a decent idea. But it's probably about 10-pound trigger, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's still very shootable. I can shoot it without moving that handgun at all. But at the same time, that is going to be your long safety, or your long trigger safety, basically. So that alone will be your safety, because nothing in the world, when you are carrying, I don't care if it's in your pocket, anything, there is nothing in the world that could pull a trigger that is this heavy for that far and allow the round to go off. So in my opinion, that double action trigger pull is a safety within itself. It doesn't have a dingus safety or a drop safety. It doesn't have a manual safety, external safety, whatever you want to call it. It just has a long, heavy trigger pull, and that acts as a safety. So those are all the ways that I would use to get comfortable with carrying with the round in chamber. And you can actually combine a couple. You can use snap caps in any of these handguns just to make sure, you know, practice holstering with a snap cap in there. You know, like I said, do all your activities. You will see that your handgun will never go off unless you pull that trigger. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.